Hello, I'm Roberto Capodieci, founder and CEO of Blockchain Zoo. You may recognize me from my time in the NXT Foundation, from the Bonet, OTDocs, MagicSign, or many other crypto projects I've been connected with in the past.
I'm Barton Johnston, co-founder and CTO of Blockchain Zoo. From a young age, I've studied cryptography, artificial intelligence, and decentralization, and I finally found my people in the world of blockchain implementation.
In 2017, along with other key founders and advisors, we created Blockchain Zoo, a consultancy company that now employs nearly 60 people. Since its founding, Blockchain Zoo has been advising companies on how to use blockchain technology for their projects and, in many cases, serve them by building custom blockchain solutions for their use cases. While our consulting has been profitable, Blockchain Zoo lacked a product or intellectual property of its own, limiting the company's value.
Therefore, in 2019, we decided to take everything we had learned about building real-world blockchain applications, as well as the capital that the company had accumulated, and after acquiring a software house, we began building our own blockchain technology, ZooBC.
Along the way, we took advisement from key figures such as Professor David Lee Kuo Chen of SUSS University in Singapore, from whom I'm lecturing in blockchain, Oscar Darmawan, an old friend and the CEO of Indodax, the largest crypto exchange in Indonesia, with whom we have a close partnership, and our co-founder Wilson Lee, better known as the Bitcoin Ambassador, president of the World Blockchain Foundation.
By today, we have put in 18 months of work and invested close to $2 million in the development of our ZooBC blockchain technology. For the past 9 months, we have run an alpha version of ZooBC on 100 geo-distributed computers, and we are about to launch our first beta testnet, open for public participation. With the ZooBC mainnet launch only 6 months away, we are launching a new kind of crowd sale we call an initial node offer, to fully decentralize the ownership of the new blockchain and to fund our work on future innovations.
If you have a few minutes, we would love to share with you a few highlights of the work we have been doing.
We have completely overhauled the underlying mechanics of the blockchain, coding and reimagining the engine of the blockchain from scratch, and we find that work very interesting. But for the sake of your time, we will focus here on novel user-facing functionalities, which open ZooBC to new use cases.
One possible role of a blockchain is that of a trustless escrow. Traditionally, to escrow a transaction, a third party must be trusted with the assets until the transaction is complete. In ZooBC transaction, we may select an approver which has the power to confirm or reject the transaction based on our instruction without the approver ever holding the asset themselves. The approver can be a person, like a lawyer or a government official, or approval can be automated by a server or other online service, which will execute or reject the transaction based on external data sources and business rules.
Consider trading cryptos for each other. Usually, the trader will send his assets to an exchange, which he must trust. After making some trades, if all goes well, the exchange will send his new assets back to him. In ZooBC, the role of the exchange may be reduced to a small server, which only observes other blockchains to see that funds have been sent, then releases funds escrowed by a trader in ZooBC. Importantly, such a server never possesses the escrowed assets, limiting the need to trust.
In practical terms, this means that from day one of the ZooBC blockchain, even before ZooBC tokens are listed in exchanges, users will be able to trade them for other cryptos directly from their wallets. This is only one of the many practical uses of ZooBC's native escrow functionalities. Their full power comes into view when we consider non-financial use cases, such as transferring ownership of assets, titles, or company shares. In this context, the server is more than just an exchange. It can execute any business rule desired to regulate the change in ownership of an asset. This tool originates from all the past work I have personally done in trade finance, managing bills of lading on the blockchain, warehouse receipts, and letter of credit. all would have been easily solved by creating digital twins of those documents and using the escrow functionality of ZooBC.
This idea of owning digital twins of real-world assets on a blockchain is quite powerful. We are working to support it natively in ZooBC's mainnet release. We call these blockchain objects. In ZooBC, such an object can represent the ownership of a title of your car, a legal contract which is negotiated and signed by two parties, or even contain and execute the launch of an ICO or the DeFi decentralization of other assets.
For example, we have already been contracted to implement solutions on ZooBC that will make use of blockchain objects, including a DeFi project that has prototype on Ethereum and we use ZooBC blockchain objects to tokenize portfolios of assets, and a stock photo management system that want to use blockchain objects to manage right of use of each photo they sell.
Other blockchains support such advanced features at a second layer, such as smart contracts, which must be painstakingly coded by hand and may contain catastrophic implementation mistakes, making them fragile and expensive. ZooBC's blockchain objects, just like its escrow mechanics, are supported natively and can be launched for many common use cases with minimal configuration, ensuring cheap, secure, and trusted deployment.
These features are powerful and flexible, but the blockchain faces one key difficulty in synchronizing them with legal and regulatory aspects, ensuring that a particular blockchain address truly represents a particular individual or company stands in the way of many real-world use cases for blockchain, such as management of titles, legal contracts, company shares, and others.
For this reason, ZooBC transactions can be signed with several different types of digital signatures for corresponding types of ZooBC account addresses. For example, a user may use his Bitcoin address directly as a ZooBC address and sign his ZooBC transactions for this address directly with his Bitcoin private key. More critically, this also gives ZooBC the ability to use an existing government-recognized digital identity directly as an account address. This completely solves blockchain's KYC problem, as a government which issued a digital identity for a citizen or company will recognize a ZooBC transaction digitally signed by that legal entity, making that transaction valid in a court of law.
For example, let's just consider a ZooBC application that manages rental contracts. We have mentioned before that such a contract can be modeled in ZooBC as a blockchain object. If the signing party uses their government-issued electronic ID when digitally signing the contract on the blockchain, then the blockchain object containing both the contract and corresponding signature will be recognized as valid in court in case of a dispute.
These are just a few of the innovations we have built and are still building into the ZooBC blockchain. We could go on at length about so-called liquid transactions that use to model continuous subscription-based payment, atomic transactions which guarantee all or nothing execution of some group of actions, on-chain multi-signature support, and other features. Not to mention the technical work we've done improving the speed and regularity of blocks, decentralization of the block creating power, ease of configuring nodes, etc. But we respect your valuable time. So if you're interested in these things, you're welcome to download and try our ZooBC mobile wallet to try for yourself, or refer to our white paper or YouTube videos. And of course, it would be our pleasure to discuss with you directly if you would like to contact us.
This brings us to today. In order to decentralize the ZooBC economy, we are conducting an INO, Initial Node Offering, pronounced INO. Like Bitcoin, ZooBC starts with 0 pre-mined tokens, so we cannot sell tokens before the network launches. The entire ZooBC economy will be minted over a period of 15 years, as blocks are created by selected nodes in the network.
Only 1,000 ZooBC mainnet Genesis Block accounts, which are required to operate the initial nodes, are available in the ZooBC Genesis Block. Those who buy an account in the Genesis Block and run a node will enjoy 3 months of premium mining time, splitting the blockchain's new ZooBC tokens only between themselves, before the network will begin accepting new nodes. After that time, new node operators will need to outbid each other by locking more ZooBC tokens to be accepted into the network, as a maximum of 3 new nodes per day are admitted.
Our INO sale is just getting started and will close in February 2021. or sooner if the ZooBC mainnet Genesis Blocks account sells out. Afterwards, the ZooBC mainnet will launch in March 2021. These ZooBC mainnet Genesis Block accounts are each delivered in the form of an ERC-721 asset in the Ethereum blockchain. The price of the account increases as the stock decreases. So those that purchase earlier or purchase in bulk may either sell those ERC-721 assets for a profit to others who wish to run nodes, or hold on to them and run a node themselves, which will generate the owner new ZooBC tokens for 15 years.
If you believe ZooBC can grow into a great project, are interested to run a node, or even are just interested to learn more, please feel free to contact us for a discussion. We've been very busy with the work in these last 18 months, and we're eager to show the world what we've been doing and work with others who can see the project's potential to fully realize it, for our mutual benefit and for the advancement of the whole blockchain world.
Thanks for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you.
Ciao.